Well, those trade talks being called off as there's growing concern about the state of the economy with the government shutdown now the second longest in U.S. history. It's been weeks since we've seen any government updates on inflation because of that data blackout. But the delayed consumer price index report is set to be released later this morning. NewsNation's Alicia Nieves is on Wall Street with all the details there. Alicia, this data is coming a bit behind schedule, isn't it? But is it better late than never?
Yeah, certainly better late than never. Better to have something rather than nothing, because as you pointed out, since this government shutdown began, we've got no data coming in, no jobs report, no insight on how producers are doing. This is going to be our first gauge of any economic data since this shutdown. And it's likely going to be the only data we get until the government resumes. As you mentioned, CPI is a critical gauge on inflation. It typically drops at 8:30 in the morning. So that is what we are expecting today. But also, as you mentioned, this data is coming in late, right? About a week and a half late. It looks like the government wasn't going to deploy this data, actually had to call back some employees from the Bureau of Labor Statistics who had been furloughed to finish the report, finalize it, and then go ahead and publish it today in about an hour and a half from now or 2 hours from now when it drops. The only reason we understand that this data is even being released, and it's going to be the only data being released, is because it was needed to decide Social Security cost of living adjustments, something that could affect millions of seniors.
They called them back and they said, we need this calculation because by law we have to put it out there so that the Social Security cost of living adjustment can be calculated and then put into play for January. Technically, if inflation comes in higher, then the cost of living adjustment for Social Security next year will be higher.
Yeah, so here's what we were expecting. Economists, most who were surveyed, believe 3.1% is going to be the headline year-over-year number. That's higher than we saw before last month or the previous month's report, 2.9%. And then month-over-month, that's going to be about 0.4%. Anything higher than that, not only going to impact Social Security, as you heard Doug Flynn there talking about, but could certainly impact markets. You're looking right now at the pre-markets, looking to open to the upside. But if we get a number that's higher than 3.1% on headline or month-over-month 0.4%, we could see markets pull back. But also beyond that, what's the ripple effect? Because every time economic data drops, it does have a ripple effect. Listen, looking forward to next week, we're expecting the Fed to make a critical decision when it comes to potentially cutting rates. If this number is higher, any inflationary pressures really reduces the probability that we get that critical rate cut that a lot of people are hoping for next Wednesday, Anna.
All right, great reporting, Alicia Nieves. Thank you so much.